live. Let's put the kitty in the frame. There we go. How are you doing, guys? We have 3 viewers already. You are doing well. You got a nice day. Yesterday was pretty cool. It was just a pure ego trip, but anyways. Today, new subject. It's been quite a stressful day, especially in the morning. Received some phone calls, like kind of unexpected. But when I woke up, so that's why I wanted to talk about stress today, because it kinda sucks, and that's something that us as artists, we are very, very sensitive to. And I don't know a single artist that doesn't experience huge load of stress like every day almost. So yeah, let's get started about stress. It's going to be a 2-part video. Or stream rather. Today is the first part. It's about the student version of stress. And the next one will be about the professional version of stress, which is not that different, to be honest. It's not very different. It's just that the advice might be different. Let's start with a primer. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of podcasts, articles, videos, like slides on Instagram and whatever, and TikToks and whatever, giving advice about stress. I've been reading a few before the presentation. And I have a big problem with most of them. I'm pretty sure that they are genuinely trying to help. But at the same time, the advice that they give, it's kind of like, you know, that big meme of there's a huge wall with a huge crack in the middle. There's a guy putting some duct tape on it. And to me, that's what most advice about stress in those articles, slides, TikTok, videos, podcasts, and stuff look like. Hello, Asia. Hope you had a nice day. Hope you're a bit more rested. How was your day? Anyways. Yeah, to me, the problem is like, it's like blank statement advice. Like, basically, hey, don't be stressed. Be positive. Stuff like that. And yeah, to me, it's not addressing the root cause of stress, which is either some behaviors or some quote-unquote toxic elements in your surrounding, or some big fundamental mindset problem. And we will see that today. So, first of all, let's start with some very, very, very basic definitions in order to all know that we are talking about the same things. I'm using the dictionary definition of stress and anxiety. To me, those are two very, very similar terms. I'm going to read the dictionary definition. I'm going to add my own personal take on that. Take that with a grain of salt. It's just my personal opinion. Yeah, my day was okay. Thanks. Did a bit of work for the client. Prepared the stream. Went to the gym. Some groceries. Played with a little monster. Was nice. And now we're streaming. But hey, let's start with the definitions. Dictionary definition of stress. It's something like it's a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. And already there are some very interesting keywords. Resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. And I'm pretty sure that as an art student, in general, you can already see what it means. Like adverse or demanding circumstances, working very hard, learning new software, new tools. Yeah, so it fits the definition. Anxiety now. A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with uncertain outcome. Uncertain outcome. Which means basically there's the potential for failure. Adverse circumstances, demanding circumstances, uncertain outcome. To me, there's a common point between all of them, which is that basically it's outside of your comfort zone and sometimes even outside of your control. And to me, that's why those two words are very similar. And I want to add my own twist to it. I just want to dive a bit deeper on the problem. The problem is that it's kind of common knowledge, but anyways, can make you feel irritable, anxious, not able to enjoy yourself, enjoy your day, enjoy you being at school, enjoy the crazy years that you have learning so many good stuff. Can make you feel worried a lot of time, if not all the time. And it's kind of a vicious circle because it can also affect your sleep, your focus, your overall health, your overall mood with other people, and in general, it's going to drag your productivity, your ability to deliver nice work and to enjoy that down. So it's a huge vicious circle. As artists, we are looking at that a lot. And I want to add my own twist about how the brain works. It's just my own definition. Our brain, aka our conscious, is just here to keep us alive. At whatever cost. Our brain, aka our conscious, doesn't care a single second about us being happy or not. As long as we are keeping breathing, our hearts keep beating, we are still basically alive. No cells are functioning. The problem is that every time there is something stressful, or uncertain, or adversarial, or demanding, basically outside of your control, it's potential danger. Because my second definition of the conscious is that it has basically no notion of time. Everything is present right now. So let's take an example about anxiety. You're stressed about an exam that is going to happen maybe next week. You don't know if you're going to succeed. So you are already feeling some stress, like some heart beating, some tight lungs, stuff like that. You're already freaking out for something that has not even happened yet. It might not even happen because maybe it would go bad, but maybe that exam would go very well too. So basically, what's going on right there is that your brain is already putting yourself as if the worst situation possible happened. So a future potential situation that is uncertain, for your brain is already present. That's my definition, at least. So it tightens the screw. It makes you work even harder in general. So it might be cool. There are some problems because sometimes you feel so stressed, like almost traumatized by something, that your brain tightens the screw so much that once it's passed, once the danger or the uncertainty is gone, the screw is still very tight, sometimes too tight. And the problem with that is that solutions for yesterday, aka getting you stressed to succeed at that crazy exam, might be the problem of tomorrow. Maybe you are still working too much while you don't need. Maybe you are sacrificing other stuff while you should be enjoying yourself. It's kind of hard to tell your brain, hey, chill, enjoy is gone. Because again, future is present, but past is still present. It's like, hey, we never know. Maybe there will be another exam, so I need to be ready. Stuff like that. And it feeds your anxiety. Another problem with stress and anxiety is that the more you try to avoid it, stronger it comes. There's a principle of procrastination, which is basically try to distract yourself from a problem by hiding it under the carpet, but in your mind there's still this tiny voice telling yourself, hey, no, you need to deliver that work in 2 days. You've been playing for 2 days. You have been working for 4 days, but you only have 2 now. There's this feeling of guilt and whatever. So, yeah, a huge vicious circle, basically. So, before attempting to address that, let's try to have some case study of what could happen as sources of stress or anxiety at school. In the chat, feel free to suggest me other ones if you want, if you think I missed some. The main ones I can recall, but I've seen as both as a student or as a teacher, are generally stress related to being in a new environment, like you are in a new place, to school. You still don't know everyone, you don't know where everything is. You're afraid of being lost or not taking your marks. It's an unfamiliar place, so it feels kind of intimidating. It's not high school. You have been used for 3 or 4 years before. It's like switching to a new place. You need a bit of time to adapt. It can be stressful. Then there can be stress related to social skills in general, like the other people. Will I be able to make friends? Will I be able to get accepted by the class, by the teachers? Will I be able to just talk in public? Will I be able to have a social life while being a student? Stuff like that. So basically on your abilities to socialize, to make friends, to make connections, and to have respect from your peers, basically. At least on a social level. The next source of stress that I might see, stress or anxiety, I can switch the word, I'm sorry, but that's the overall idea. Stress related to learning something new, like a new software, a new tool, learning 3D, learning Photoshop. First time you start 3ds Max, you're like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? But yeah, it's hard because it's something you don't know yet. It's completely outside of your comfort zone. So it's very, very intimidating indeed. The next one might be stress related to the grades or getting your degree in general. So I need to have good marks. I need to have A+. I need to have a 14 out of 20 as an average. I need to get my degree. I have that pressure to basically some kind of burden of performance, if I can call it this way. And in some way we all have, because that's the way we are getting placed amongst other classmates in order to know if we are good enough or not. Then there is still tied to that stress related to competition with others, like your classmates, even sometimes your teachers, or the students who graduated, or even the other students in other schools. Once you are looking for a job, you're like, oh my god, they are doing so much great stuff. They are so much better than me. I would never be able to get a job and stuff like that. Then there might be stress related to exterior expectations, like maybe pressure from your parents, pressure from your friends, from your teachers, or even from yourself, to be honest. Like your parents, they are like, hey, Billy, you need to succeed. We paid very, very expensive price for your studies. You need to deliver good grades and stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to disappoint all your friends that are supporting you, stuff like that. Or even to disappoint yourself. And finally, the last one might be stress related to your finance as a student. And of course, there are stress related to unexpected things, but we won't talk about that, like an accident, some bad news. This is not the subject of that discussion. So, I'm pretty sure we can all identify to most of them, if not all of those cases. If you think I have missed one, feel free to tell me. And to add some in the chat, I will try to address it live. But generally, when we look for advice for that, it's stupid. It's kind of bad, to be honest. I was looking at some articles before. I made a quick list of the most common stuff that they are suggesting. It's always the same crappy, cheesy advice that sounds so simple, but in practice, it's almost impossible to do because it's like, hey, it sounds good, but where do I start? It's like, be active. Take control. Connect with people. Have some personal time for yourself to take care of yourself. Challenge yourself. Avoid everything unhealthy. Develop good habits. Help other people. Try to be positive. Woo. Try to be positive. Tell that to anyone that is stressed. This person will want to slap you in the face. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. And the best one. Work smarter, not harder. Woo! Tell that to most students in art school. At least good art school. You can be the smartest person on earth. You would need to work freaking hard. So yeah, everything like that. This is cute, but well, what does it mean in practice? The main common point and main problem that I see with all of these is that these are improvements, not new paradigm. Again, it's like that meme of the big wall with a gigantic crack in the middle and a guy putting some duct tape on it. It's like, okay, it might make things more bearable, but it's not addressing the root cause of the problem. That's my main problem with all those advice. And something, I don't know if it ever did that to you too, chat, but to me, when I tried those things, it was very frustrating because I was like, hey, I'm trying my best. It doesn't bring any results. So it almost makes things worse in some way. Because you are spending so much energy on trying to fix that instead of completely removing the problem. It's like trying to swim with some cement shoes. Just remove the shoes. So, as I say, it might make things better, quote unquote better, but it won't eradicate this initial feeling first. Because it's still here, buried under the solutions. Hello, PT4. How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. So, all those quote unquote solutions, it's just hiding things under the carpet. It's a way to ease the pain, not to remove the main cause of that. So, even though I would never advocate against having some free time for yourself, having some friends, avoiding unhealthy stuff, and going to the gym, this is fine. This is fine. But it might not address the problems. It might just be some supplements, like some icing on the cake. If the cake is rotten, well, and So, to me, these are just blank statements to fill up some crappy article online to grab your attention and make you feel quote-unquote better. I'm pretty sure those people care. In some sense. Maybe they care a bit more about you clicking rather than helping you. But anyways, pretty sure in some way that they try to help. But reading this article, I've never been like, wow, this is a life-changing article. Thank you, article. Changed my life. No. Because in any of those advice, it's like, hey, where do I start? What can I do to start applying those stuff? I don't even want to see you moving. So. And the worst part about that is that the desire behind that is simple. It's just get rid of that goddamn stress as much as possible. It's simple. The desire is simple. The solution is a bit more complex. The desire is so simple. Instead, you overcomplicate, like, take care of yourself. Try to be positive. I want to be positive. I want to live everything positive, but I'm not. I need some actionable solution to start being positive and having a positive surrounding around me. You can still try to convince yourself that you are eating like lobster with caviar and golden leaves. If you have a piece of shit in your plate, you can try to persuade yourself it's something else, but it's still a piece of shit. That's the worst comparison ever. I'm gonna clip that. So instead, just remove that shit plate and get something better. That's not the advice, by the way. It's just a plan that we're try to solve. But to me, this is what I call improvement. And improvement is shit. You need replacement. You need new opportunities instead of improvement. Not in every case, but at least on this aspect, improvement, it's not bad in itself, but it takes a shit ton of work. While starting something from scratch, trying a new approach, you have invested zero in it. When you're trying to improve, you are building on top of something and you are already invested into that. If it doesn't work, you're like, shit, I have invested so much time. But if you are trying something new, it's like, hey, I'm trying something new. There's no expectation yet. If it works, fine. If it don't work, that's fine. It was something new. So, instead of talking about improvement, let's try to talk about new opportunity. So, let's get back on all those problems one by one and try to shift mindset about that. Again, it's easy to say, a bit harder to do. But at least personally, it helped me. And as a teacher, I've seen it help other students. So, stress about the new environment, the new school, new place and stuff like that. First of all, the good news is that generally it's temporary. Just need to get used to the new place and that's fine. But you know what? Here's a secret. Everyone else is stressed. Because you know what? If you just landed in art school and you are a bit intimidated, everyone is just like you. Everyone just left high school, a few years of college in general. You just got your high school degree, you are in a new place. It's like when you were a kid entering elementary school for the first time. Just need time to adapt. That's fine. But the good news is now, in terms of surrounding, it's way, way, way better in general. Because put one in the chat. I know there's only 3 people watching right now, but put one in the chat. If you were this kind of weird kid in high school or middle school, hanging out with the nerds, not with the cool kids, and being a bit of a social monster, I'll be the first one to put a 1 in the chat. And you know what? Now in art school, 99% of people are exactly like that. So what is good with that is that we understand each other very, very easy. And what is cool with that is, as everyone got into kind of the same problems at school before than you, or at least something relatable. We're all unique, we all have our background, but at least we can relate to each other, and that's already a big start compared to high school or whatever. We've a lot of geeks, a lot of nerds who probably got problems sheltered into their imagination, whether it's book, movies, video games, a bit of both. So people will understand you pretty easy, and you will be able, as you relate to each other, to form bonds pretty easy too. So finally, as you understand each other, you will be able to trust each other too, and to finally develop some sane relationship with people. So even if the school is a new environment, you should know that it has been built by nerds too. So everyone is in the same basket, everyone has the same background, everyone has the same mindset, the same common interest. So technically this environment is like a nest for you. And it's like a huge nest for geeks. It's like a protecting bubble, and you are only with other people just like you. So at least this environment is quote unquote safe. Generally, this is the less important of the problems. Maybe stressful at the beginning, but generally very quickly you realize that and you're like, oh my god, that's so cool. I remember when I went to art school, before I was in college, it was horrible. And now just joined art school and I was like,
wow, wow, wow.
I was like, oh my god, everyone is a nerd. Everyone likes D&D and video game. Everyone is wearing metal t-shirts and stuff like that. That's so cool. Guys, girls, everyone is liking that. I've never seen that in high school before. I was just a dorky dweeb talking about dragons and D&D and Skyrim and stuff like that, while everyone was doing, I don't know, normal and popular kid stuff. And finally, I'm just with a bunch of people just like me. When I joined art school, it was like a renaissance to me. Anyways, that's for environment. This is the least deep way of addressing that problem, but generally it kind of solves itself. The next ones are more interesting though. Social skills. Again, this one is kind of tied again, but it's a bit more complex. As we said, most of the people at school will be exactly like you, and everyone has been a nerd for almost 20 years. So hopefully it should spark a lot of conversations and create a lot of common points between each other. It's kind of easy to bond with each other. But if you want to have social skills outside of the class, outside of the school, if you're just with a bunch of nerds, it's kind of hard. But in art school, even within nerds, they are still very, very, very extroverted people. It might not be the most common in art school, but they are still existing. And if you can, in your class or in your buddies, just find someone that is super, super, super extroverted. Like your absolute opposite in terms of social skills. That's the safe people that you can hang out with. And what you can do is go outside with that person. Go to the bar, go to park, whatever, to any social event with that person. And that person will act as a bridge between you and the exterior world. So it will ease the social aspects. I'm pretty sure that with some people in the chat we can confirm that. But this is still happening to me even at the bar and stuff like that. So yeah. Social tiredness. Okay, this one is very interesting. Like you are bored with people. People are boring you. Discussions are not very interesting to you, something like that. Or else maybe you need very, very deep and intense conversations talking about deep subjects for you to get interesting and energized, and otherwise just chit chat is tiring you, something like that. I just wait for you to answer. Just like that, or is my definition off? Okay. Yeah, I guess that in that case you just need to rest. That's fine. That's fine. My only... I think I'm the first one to be very tired at the end of the day and not want to talk that much. But I think the only pitfall with that might be to mistake that for laziness. Yeah. I see your point. I see your point. I think it's twofold. First of all, we must make sure that it's not like we are just lazy. And we're like, oh, I don't care for not for today, tomorrow maybe. This happened, but it can also compound into habit and gets you to isolate yourself a bit. So just be careful with that. I have no solution for you because it depends on if you are okay with that. If you are not okay with being isolated, maybe those things, when you have an opportunity, you want to be social, but you're a bit tired, maybe just forcing yourself just to go. And who knows, maybe at some point it will energize you, or if it retires you, you leave after one beer, that's fine. But it all depends if you are okay with being a bit of an introvert or not. If you're not okay with that, yeah, maybe forcing yourself to go out of your comfort zone and it will sideways towards the next subject, which is cool. It might be a good way for you to learn that. Back and I hear about bar. Yeah, I was giving a good advice for introverts, which is find someone that is exactly your opposite, that is very extroverted, very social, very talkative to everyone, can make friends with everyone, and just go to the bar with that person. And this person will act as a social bridge between you, the introvert monster, and other people. But yeah, social tiredness we all have, to be honest. But it all depends if you're okay with being an introvert or not, to be honest. If you're okay being a social cave person, that's fine. If you are tired but still want to be social, or still think that you need to improve on that, maybe just forcing yourself to act social and see that as a learning experience might be also a good approach. And we'll see that because it sideways perfectly to the next subject, which is stress about learning something new. I don't see anyone either that is exactly like that. I don't know who you are talking about. Anyways, I think the biggest stress at school, aside from grade and delivering the work, might be learning something new. Especially if it's your first year, you are like, I need to learn Photoshop. I've seen that when I was teaching Photoshop recently. Everyone was freaking out. Then learning 3D, I'm pretty sure people freaked out even more at learning 3D. So yeah, that's outside of what we know. So it's kind of hard. And to be honest, it's kind of part of the process. So it sounds kind of cheesy, but I have just one punchline for that. And I swear to everything I have, about everything I have, that if you manage to apply that, to try to implement that into your mindset and it sticks with you, you'll get a great result. It's like something like, if it's not hard, you are not learning. If it's easy, you already know it. So you are kind of regressing. Let's repeat that. If it's not hard, you are not learning. If it's already easy, you already know it. So there's no point. Maybe you are even regressing. You're in an art school. You're a student. So in order to become masters, you need to be a fool first. And more than that, if you're in a school, you're here to learn. Learning is tough. Because if it's not tough, you already know it, so there's no point for you to be in the school. So it sounds super simple, but every time you struggle on something, the more you struggle, the more you should tell yourself, hey, this means I'm learning right now. So this is good. It's not to become masochist, but it's to enjoy that process. It's like learning martial arts. You're a white belt, you're fighting a brown belt or blue belt or even a green belt. You're going to get wrecked at the beginning for the first 6 months. That's how you learn. It's like playing Dark Souls. First time you play Dark Souls, you arrive in front of Gundyr, you're like, oh my god. I'm not ready for that. And even if the game is a very hard teacher, he's always telling you, hey, get back up, go back to that boss, you have no penalties. Worst case scenario, you lose a bit of XP, which is fine. But every time you beat that new boss, it means that you have learned something. And every time you are struggling, it means that you are lacking something that you don't know yet. So basically, the harder it is, the more things you are learning and the more you will be able to apply elsewhere. And for those who got me in Photoshop course, I'm pretty sure there's none of them, because I told people that as long as you are my student, as long as you have homework, don't watch the streams, but we never know. Generally, I lost what I wanted to say. That's so bad. I'm so sorry. I lost what I wanted to say. The harder it is, the more you are learning. You need to challenge yourself. I'm pretty sure you have understood what I mean. I'm so sorry. I just lost what I wanted to say. I had a fucking punchline. I don't remember about it. We'll come back after a moment for sure. If I can make a comparison, that's something I'm always using at school. I call it the shonen spirit. It's like you see in like Naruto. I play that music. In like Naruto, when Naruto is struggling and is learning something and everyone is doubting about him, that's where he's learning, and that's where he's trying to surpass himself. Like in the first episode, for example, He's crying, doesn't know the multi-cloning and stuff like that. And at some point he's working so hard on that that it becomes his signature move. This is a shitty comparison, but it's just to tell you that the more you struggle at something, the more you need to learn that. I'm sorry, this is cheesy as fuck. Yeah, the more you struggle at something, the more it means that you need to learn that. And at some point, when you start to recognize those moments when you are struggling, you will start to enjoy that. And you will start to look for that. That's what I wanted to say to my students. And that's what I forgot before. It's every time you want to learn something, every time you want to improve, just try to challenge yourself and to give yourself an impossible task. Something that is so out of your reach. Like, hey, I want to learn 3D and optimize super well for Octane. I'm going to do an entire city. It's going to take me 3 months. I have no idea how to model buildings. I have no idea how to model a tree. Or to scatter everything and make it fit into 4 gigs of VRAM. But as you go through the process, and every time you hit a roadblock, basically, you will need to find some solutions. And basically, it will teach you so much all the time. Instead, if you just say to yourself, oh, I'm going to do what I'm used to do, like a forest or whatever, you already know it, you have learned nothing. And worse than that, you might be developing bad habits. I went on a complete tangent on that one, I'm sorry. But does that make sense? I know it sounds easy, it's harder in practice, but at some point you will look for that difficulty and you will start to enjoy it, to be honest. Anyways. Stress about getting your degree. This one is going to be fast and quick. 3 things. First of all, you are in art school, so you are here to learn, not to get a degree. Second of all, in the industry, for about 99.9% of the school worldwide, nobody gives a single f*** about your degree. They only care about your skills. And to get more skills, you need what? You need to learn. Third thing, you join school. Again, your grades are just here to give you a rough idea of where you are compared to the expectations of the school. And hopefully, if the school is good, to the expectation of the market. So, if you have good grades, good. But if you have good grades, it also means that you need to change yourself even harder. Because it means that you already know beyond what is expected. And you don't want to be just average. You want to be way, way, way above average. So, if you have bad grade, that's good. Not telling yourself to deliberately having bad grade. But if that happens, you need to tell yourself, good. It's good if you have that reflex of going to see your teacher or your mentor or whatever, asking them something like, hey, what do I need to do in order to improve and get better grades in the future? Generally, the teacher is teaching you how to do it by him or herself. But just in case you get a bad grade, go to see your teacher at the end of the class. You're like, hey, I really want to improve. I want to redo the exercise, something like that. What should I improve? What should I do? What should I correct in order to hopefully, if you had to give me a new grade on that new exercise, get above average? What do I need to get? What do I need to do? So that's if it's bad. It's an opportunity for you to fix problems. Because the teacher will point to you all the problems that you have in your pictures. If you have good grades, okay, that's fine. You worked well, you probably worked very hard, that's fine. Don't rest on your laurels. Don't get complacent. It means that you can afford to go harder and to challenge yourself a bit more. Because you can fail a bit and still be above average in terms of grade. And even if you fail a bit on that challenge that you put yourself at, you'll still learn. And you will still be ahead of your classmate. And if you do that across 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of studies, it will compound over time. And the level that you will have will be night and day compared to your mates. And the third thing, what makes an artist? The degree, or what you are able to do with your hands? I'm pretty sure the answer is obvious. So, I wouldn't say to not care about your degree, because that's like an achievement. It might be needed to get some visas or just to get your parents to relax. But your degree is a sub-product of your education and you learning everything that you need to learn. So basically focus on learning, you will get your degree. Focus just on the degree and you might skip learning some stuff. Give me a sec. So same with the grades. Again, the same question. What do I need to learn and improve on in order to get an above average mark next time? Just ask this question to get a bad grade, and that's fine. Again, you are in school to learn, not to have good grades right from the start. If you have good grades right from the start, it means that it's either too easy, so the expectation of the schools might be too low, so you need to question that. Or else it means that you have worked enough, so it's good. But this margin that you have above average, you can use that to challenge yourself even more. And you can still afford to fail and be still above average. If you have good grades right from the start, you need to seriously question, not all the time question the school, because you might just be very good or have worked very hard, which is fine. But if everyone in the class is having good grades right from the start, that's not normal. It's not normal at all. So be very cautious about that. If everyone in your class is having good grades right from the start, question the school. Not saying the school is bad. Maybe you are in an exceptionally good class. But maybe the school is just trying to soothe you, to make you feel comfortable. And maybe the school expectations are a bit below the average of the industry. Generally, a good school is a harsh school. Sometimes they are too harsh. But generally, the harsher the school, of course, it will be difficult. But because it's difficult, you will learn more. If it's easy run from the start, you are not stressed and you won't be using that stress for productivity. And that's the advantage of stress, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Stress about competition. Again, I have one punchline about that. Are you ready? Decrease the judgment of others and increase the judgment of yourself. Again. Decrease the judgment of others increase the judgment of yourself. One last time.
Decrease the judgment of others. Increase the judgment of yourself.
This is what my mentor is telling me all the time. You are not here to compete and to flex on your mates, your classmates. Again, you decide to go to art school and potentially got in debt to go there, not for a degree, not to flex on your buddies, but to learn how to become an artist and how to become professional. You should not give a single but you compared to your classmates. At least on a grade standpoint. However, you can still figure out where you are compared to other buddies. Because if someone is better than you on something, just ask that person for help. Generally, if the school is well done, well organized, there shouldn't be any ratio or quotas at the end of the year, and everyone good enough should pass. If the school is not doing that, the school is quote unquote toxic because it's putting you in a competition environment, and it will encourage sabotage. You sabotaging the others. So, tripping them down, painting on their shit, whatever, putting razor blade in your clay. I don't know which kind of hardcore stuff you can do in a competitive environment at school. But if the school is safe and sane and wants the student to thrive and to be already in a professional mindset, everything will be collaborative and based upon helping each other. Because there's something in the industry that is very important, is that this industry, everyone will tell you it's very competitive, which in some ways is true. But at the same time, the industry is striving for new talents and there's never enough talents. So the more good people arriving in the industry, the better the industry will be. And there's a place for everyone, there's a spot, there's a job for everyone as long as you are good enough. It's not about ratio, it's not about quotas in the industry. It's about, are you doing the work well enough or not? Of course, we can argue that the bar is raising year after year. No problem. But still, if you are good enough, you get a job. If I'm not good enough, you don't get a job. It's not about, oh, Billy and Bobby and Jenny and Mary got a job. There's no spot left for me. Bullshit. You have every interest in the world to help each other because your classmates will be your future colleagues. You never know. Maybe someone you help at school one day would be at your dream job like Blizzard, ILM, Lucasfilm, Riot Games, whatever. Maybe you can ask your buddy working in that company, hey, can you give my portfolio to the director, please? And keep me updated once you have a job opened for me. This person will be like, hey, this person was nice to me. Sure, we have that person. So please help each other. It's so important. So, about competition. Decrease the judgment of others, increase the judgment of yourself. What does it mean? You went in art school for yourself and to learn. If someone is better than you, ask him or her for tips instead of being jealous or trying to sabotage that person. This industry is based upon helping each other because we are lacking good elements to join it. So, the more you start helping each other, that's something I'm telling all the time in every class that I'm teaching at. It's like, before asking me to solve a problem, try to ask your buddies. It's not because I'm lazy, it's not because I don't want to help you, it's just to force you to get that habit of having solidarity between each other across all your class, to help each other, And you will realize that together, you will be able to solve 95% of the problems that you have. And the 5 remaining percent, you can either find it on Google or ask your teacher. And once you get that habit, it creates bonding across the class. It creates friendships. It also solved that problem of, oh, there's a bunch of new people that I cannot trust. And wait a minute, they're helping me. I can trust them. It solves everything. The school is safe. The people are safe. I don't care about the grades. I don't care about learning because people will help me. I don't care about competition because people will help me. It solves everything. If a school is competitive and telling you we have quotas, there will be only 20 people next year, to me, that's a red flag for the school. I'm sorry. At least if the quotas are official, because I'm sure that every good school, even if they don't want to admit it, they might have some. I don't really know. Because sometimes they don't want to open a new class or whatever. They might have reasons. It's the fact that they openly tell you that there's a quota. There's a school in Lyon, I won't call the name, a very famous traditional art school. At the entrance of the school, there's a huge board with the name of every student. There's like 1,000 of them. And their grades. Every week. And the best one are highlighted in green. And the worst one are highlighted in red. And there's no way you can't see that when you enter the school because it's at the entrance. What the fuck that plan is that? So fucked up. Very, very, very famous traditional art school in Lyon. You can make your research about that. There's a lot of horror story. I don't know if that's true, but I had some buddies in my when I was in class. I had some buddies who went from that art school before. When I was a student, and they were like, hey, we were actively trying to sabotage each other, like during the painting class, like getting removing a screw from the easel for the drawing board, putting some dry clay in the clay. This way you can't do anything with that. There was some rumors. I think it's a myth or a legend, but we never know. I don't know. It's so competitive and stressful that it might be true. I don't know. But apparently there was some shards of glass in the clay. In some clays. And people stealing each other's paint and materials and stuff like that. Like some wicked stuff. Like you are at an exam. If someone was asking you, hey, please, I don't have any white paint anymore. Can you lend me some? Or like, no, fuck you. Can you imagine being 5 years in a school like that? And enjoying the process? Enjoying learning and having a good opinion about the industry after that? When you have been conditioned for 5 years to screw your bodies? No fucking way. That's why you need to help each other. And to be such brothers and sisters in school. Like, to me, the way a school should be done is like your school should be your second family. Your classmates, your teacher, they are your second family. Because if the school is good, it's so stressful, it's so intense, you sacrifice everything. You sacrifice your health, money, social life, your relationships. Sometimes you get kind of cluttered only with that social circle for 3 to 5 years. You sacrifice everything. It needs to be sane. And you need to have support to endure that you enjoy it. If you are going the lone wolf road, good luck. Some people are able to manage to do that. I had to. But I had to. It's not that I wanted. And spoiler alert, I did a burnout in the midst of my second year because of that. So at least for me, it doesn't work. I know only one person for who it worked. But this guy was other than sociopathic. I'm psychopathic. But yeah, for normal human beings, it's good to have friends. And see, it solves all the rest of the problems. Learning something new, you have your buddies to help you. Social skills, you have your buddies, your friends already. Environment is safe, your buddies are safe. Solves everything. It's so important. Next. Expectation that are exterior to you. Might be your parents putting pressure on you, your friends, the bank, with the loans and stuff like that. It can be society, like, hey, if you don't have a degree, you're a piece of garbage. Let me tell you a secret, I don't have any degree. I just have my high school degree. And an equivalent of a scientific high school degree too, but it's not even an official one. I have no degree. I have 6 years in the industry. And nobody ever asked me for my degree. Nobody gives a fuck about your degree. Unless you are like in science, STEM, medicine, engineering, some very high-end stuff. Unless you are in those fields, you don't need a fucking degree. This is mainly for US students. Like you get $300,000 in debt for a history master. Woo! Congrats. Everyone has it. And you have 300k in debt for something that everyone has. So it doesn't make a difference. So you have 300k in debt. You have wasted 5 years of your life for a useless piece of paper that everyone have. Now you need to find a job with 300k on your head. Instead, you could have started to work at 20, at 25, compared to that person with 300k in debt. You have 5 years of experience in a simple job. You might have grown your business. You have maybe 1 or 2 employees now. You have a salary for 5 years and you have 0 debt. And every time you tell that to the average people, it's like, whoa, mind-blowing stuff. That's math. That's simple math. At some point, we're going to have a presentation about student loans. It's going to be fun. So, exterior expectation. Again, you are the one in school doing the work for you. Your parents, your friends, society, whatever, Santa Claus is not at school doing the work. You are at work. You are at school doing the work, struggling, not sleeping. Doing that for you. For what? To learn. Again, decrease the judgment of and from others, and increase the judgment of yourself. You should be your own judge. And your teacher can be too. Because they are professional, you need to trust them. Unless proven otherwise, but generally you need to trust your teacher. Because they are able to see things that you don't see yet. They are able to guide you to avoid troubles that you don't see yet. Aside from your teachers giving you grades, you should be your only one judge about how it's going at school. As long as you are satisfied with the way you are learning, the grades are proving you that it's working, you should not care about anyone else's opinion about that. Including a random guy streaming on the internet with a cat sleeping around. As long as you are happy, as long as you are learning, as long as the grades and the teacher are proving you that it's valuable, be careful of fake ass schools again. There are some of them, not all of them, of course. Some of them are very cool. But generally, those fake-ass schools are the ones where everyone get good grades right from the beginning, where it's easy, it's fun. Oh, we are drawing Pikachus and stuff like that. Right from the beginning, instead of being just crying in front of your computer after 3 days you start. Generally, those fake-ass school, they'll be like, well, this is fine. This is good. You're going to be an art director at Disney when you came out. Once you graduate, you will be working at Disney or Blizzard Riot. You'll be working a Lord of Rings right from the start.
Stupid.
Stop lying to me! You're saying yes all the fucking time, yet nothing's done!
That's it. Gordon Ramsay said it. Let's hear Gordon again.
Stop lying to me! You're saying yes all the fucking time, yet nothing's done!
Oh, man. That's how you recognize a fake-ass school. The school is not making you struggle, it's a bad school. Honestly. If you don't have at least 3 or 4 meltdowns during the year, it's not a good school to be. That's a bit harsh, I know. But yeah, if you don't cry at least 3 or 4 times during the year, like have a complete meltdown and you're like, I want to quit, I'm a fucking piece of shit. I hate everything, I would never be able to succeed. That's a good school. That's a fucking good school. It's a harsh teacher, but it's a good teacher. And again, I know that we want to please our parents. I know that sometimes our parents are the ones who paid for the student loans. Or just paid straight away for studies, and we want them to be proud and stuff like that. But aside from succeeding at school, I think our parents are very happy when we are happy too. And if we are not happy at school, they won't be happy. This is kind of weird when I told just before that you need to have a meltdown 3 or 4 times per year for you to be in a good school. But overall, even if you have those meltdowns, you still know what you are doing that for. But yeah, even if it doesn't please your parents, this might be a dangerous advice that I give right now. So be careful, but I trust you to be careful with that. Even if it doesn't please your parents, if you know it's right, do it. That's your life. That's not them deciding for you at some point. That's part of becoming adult. Independent. Of course, we should not always challenge them either, because sometimes, even a lot of time, they are a bit wiser than us. But when you know something is true, when you know something is good for you and I don't see it yet, yeah, sometimes you might change them a bit. So yeah, if you have not good enough grades according to them, they are not at school struggling instead of you. You're the one struggling, you know the struggles. As long as you know that you are doing your best, there's no regret to have, so that's fine. You need to show them that you have no regrets, that you are not wasting your years or sabotaging your year and stuff like that. And I know that very well because I sabotaged my second year because I just wanted to quit. And I knew my parents didn't want me to quit. They were like, no, you finish that shit. When you start something, you finish that. It was the same with college. That awful year at college that I wanted to quit right in the first hour. Well, I honestly should have. But I was just looking for a reason for me to to not be able to come back at school. The only way I found was to sabotage my year, which is definitely not a wise thing to do. It's not wise at all. Fortunately, it proved to be true and to be the good decision, at least for me. It was not because I was doubting of me or my ability. I was a bit. At the same time, I was like, hey, I think I have something. I think I'm able to do it. I'm quitting school because I know I will be able to do it better on my own. Because I was in one of those fake school that was like...
Stop lying to me! You're saying yes all the fucking time, yet nothing's done!
I was starting to see the cracks in the matrix, basically. I was starting to see the cracks behind the paint. Everything was cheaping. I was like, hey, this teacher that is the only amazing teacher we have is getting scorned by the director because he's teaching us too much. What the fuck? Wait a minute, they want just to make us for more money. Don't give a fuck about teaching us. In some way, they want to sell us the master because before they deliberately make the program incomplete for us not to be ready for the industry for us to buy the master. Fuck that school. The school is harsh with you. Yeah, it's good. So don't sabotage your year and stuff like that. Final source of stress that at least I got on my list. But if you have some, if you want to come to further discuss, or then join the Discord. Yeah. Stress about finance. This is a bit advanced for most students, but just in case you are the one paying your loans and having to find the money and stuff like that, it might be very interesting. I'm thinking about one very specific person right now that is unfortunately not in the chat. But honestly, this is an advice that everyone will tell you that almost nobody is doing as a student. It's like, save every dime that you can. I have something more hardcore like that. If you really, really want to get red pill about money, if you really, really want to get aware and to have a fucking shock about how you handle your money, if it's good or not, try something for 1 month right now. You get a notebook, you open a page, and you write every single spending that you do during 1 month. Even if it's 1 penny. You buy a box of cigarettes, write it $5. It's even $8 now. So expensive. You buy a coffee at the coffee machine, 40 cents. You buy a sandwich, $3. You buy a beer at the bar, $6. You pay your rent, $700. And at the end of the month, you just realize everything that you have spent. I can swear to you, I can bet everything. I can bet my adorable kitty, if you want, that you will get fucking scared if you are honest and if you tracked everything. You would feel so guilty of all the money that you have, quote unquote, wasted. Not wasted, but spent on unnecessary things. I won't give example because we all have our definitions of unnecessary thing, but I don't know. You bought a fucking expensive keyboard just because you wanted. Was that necessary? Probably not. You bought, I don't know, you bought a Rolex. Did you need it? Probably not. I would really like to talk with a student able to afford a Rolex already. We need to talk. But, I don't know. Buy a new phone, unless your previous one is absolutely terrible and 10 years old, maybe you didn't need it. Like you are buying a new iPhone every year. You really need it. That's as you want, of course. But if you are scared about money, that's only if you are scared about money. If you don't care, if you don't have any financial pressure, feel free to do whatever you want. I'm not your dad. But if you are struggling with money, if you are scared about money, do that. And we swear, I'm willing to bet everything I have that if you are scared about money and you do that, you will scare yourself too. And honestly, just by doing that, I swear that it will fix 99% of the problems. You just need to get that shock once. I'm not saying that to be condescending or patronizing or make you feel guilty or whatever. It's only if you are stressing about money. Just do that. You will get scared. That's the point. You will get pissed. You will get angry. That's the point. And you will start to act accordingly. And this is even more important if you own the student debt, the student loan for your studies. We'll have an entire presentation about that at some point. But student debt, if it's managed badly, it can ruin you. I'm not joking when I tell that. And I'm in France. For you European students, that's fine. Like 50K of student loans might seem like a lot, but compared to the US, you can add a zero behind that in the US. It's like a 150 to 500K in student loans. What's the average student loans in the US? Let's ask at Google. It's only 36K. Only that? No way. No fucking way. Still, that's a fucking ton of money. And we're going to use that 36K. That's around 30K euro. That's fine. I'm going to use that as the example. But you will see that even quote unquote, just 30K euro in student loans is nothing to underestimate. So, yeah. The TLDR, if you are stressed about money, do that goddamn list. Get scared. Like really, really scared. And yeah, it should fix the problem, to be honest. Is there anything that I missed that you would like to talk about? Is that good? Oh, I forgot to add the music today. I'm gonna join the Discord for like 5 minutes. There's no one. Don't feel obligated to join. Only if you want to further discuss with the voice what we talk about. There are some stuff that you are not agreeing with. Feel free to tell me to. I would love to have a debate. I'm not here to be right or wrong, whatever. It's just my take. Trying to help. Trying to cut away from a lot of bullshit. It's only based on my experience. But I'm trying to help. Or if you have any question or whatever about today's subject, feel free to ask. Either in a voice chat. Or I just joined, by the way. Or in the text chat. If you just want to ask a question and don't want to join, that's fine. Gonna leave like 2 minutes. And then if there's nothing, we're gonna end the stream. But hey, I hope you found it useful. Hope it brought you some... I think it's not mind-blowing stuff. If there is at least one new way of thinking that you haven't thought about before, that you're willing to try, I would consider that this video is a success. It's not about being right or whatever. It's just about giving some actionable stuff that you can try at least. As I said, either something actionable or mind shift. Not stuff like hey, just be yourself and it's going to be okay, or try to take care of yourself, try to be positive. No way I say try to be positive. First of all, you need to ban try. Like do it or don't do it, but there's no try. Try is like, I'm gonna explain why at some point, but saying I will try is like the worst thing you can say. Because trying implies uncertain result. It can imply success or failure. If we get back to our anxiety definition, anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, unease about something with an uncertain outcome. So if you say, I will try, there is an uncertain outcome. I'm mentioning the possibility of failure. So you are sparking anxiety to the person that is receiving your words. It's very bad for trust. Oh, Paradox, how are you doing, man? You're coming just at the end of the stream, unfortunately. It was about stress today. We talked about stress related to a new environment, stress related to social skills, stress related to learning something new, stress related to grades and getting your degree, stress related to competition with others, stress related to finance as a student, and stress related to external expectations like your parents, your friends, or your teachers. Oh, thanks, man. And the TLDR is just have a lot of solidarity in your class. It fixes most of the problems. Let's get a quick summary of all the points. Sure. If you want to say something about that. I'm just doing the TLDR about that, and I will clip that probably while you're writing, and then I'm addressing your point. But yeah, feel free to write. But yeah, stress related to a new environment, coming in a new place and stuff like that. Generally, it tends to fix itself very quick. And you know what? Everyone else is stressed about that. It's a new place. It's like coming to elementary school for the first time. This is normal. But let's go to social skill and wrap both of them together. Stress related to social skills. We are in an art school. Most of us are nerds. We have been nerds for all of our life. We have not been with the cool kids. We were the nerds talking about Pokemon and D&D. And now we have amongst all of us. We are amongst the same species. So we tend to understand each other very well, very easily, and spark conversations and bonds very easy. If you are lacking with social skills with the outside world, get one very, very extroverted and social buddy at your art school and hang out outside with that person. And this person will tend to act as a bridge socially, to ease the social connection. Stress related to learning something new. If it's not hard, you are not learning. If it's easy, you already know it and you are regressing. Get that in your head. Get that in your mindset. And you will start to enjoy the struggle. When you start enjoying the struggle, please go. Yeah, you can come to Vocal and try to explain it if it's still available. It will be in English, unfortunately. But yeah, you can come. If you see at the bottom of the Discord, there's something called free coaching. There's a spot available for you if you want to join. I'm just finishing that very quickly and then you can join, no problem. You can already join, but I muted myself. Stress related to grade and getting your degree, and also related to Excel expectation. You are putting yourself into student loans and you are doing art school and struggling a lot just for yourself, for you to learn a job, for you to learn the skill set in order to become professional. And so technically, as long as you remain focused on learning, everything else should be fine. Getting your degree is a subproduct or learning well. If you focus on only your degree, you will not learn everything. The degree is just a validation that you have learned. It's not the the be all end all. Stress related to competition with each other. Again, if the school is making you compete with your buddies, it's kind of a bad school in my opinion. But in any case, the more fraternity and solidarity you have with your buddies, the better it will be. And the less stress you will be about your surroundings too. And learning new software, because you know you will be able to rely on your buddy to teach you too. But you don't know. And if someone is better than you, just learn from that person. Ask from that person to help you. Stress related to finance as a student. Even though there will be a twist right now. Stress related to finance. Get a notebook, get a pen. Write every single spending that you have, including the coffee, track everything to the penny. And if you are stressed about your finance and you do that, you will just freak out. You will realize how much you spend on unnecessary things. You realize how much you spend on unnecessary things. And technically your problem should be solved by itself. Let's open the voice chat. Hey, can you hear me? You're muted, by the way.
Okay.
Hey.
Is my mic working?
Yeah, perfectly.
Oh. Good. I wanted to say something about the things you said about the, like writing everything that we spent.
Sure.
Personally, it's been like 2 years that I'm living all by myself.
Yeah.
I'm not even 20, and I have
Wow.
something to say about the fact that when you start living by yourself, money stress is like something very important.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You have to learn and manage.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think at the beginning, like you'll obviously like write everything down and count about everything, because like you're paying your school, you're paying your apartment. Sometimes like people can't help you and it might be very stressful. And I think like you still have to keep like maybe like just a bit of money aside for something, for like once every 3 months or something, to just save a bit of something to just enjoy something for yourself.
Oh yeah.
Because you're being very stressed, like with the school and all the stuff we've talked about, plus the money, because sometimes like family can't help. And it might be great sometimes to just like keep a little something for you to just allow yourself once a month to get that coffee that you wanted to just go out with your friends and stuff like that. And yeah, it might be scary for some people to just start tracking everything down and just see the money coming and the money getting out. It might be terrifying at the beginning, because like you do not realize, and like when you start being alone, you just realize the amount of money like even your friends might not understand it, because they're still living at their parents or stuff like that. And it might be another source of stress, because like people don't understand when you're being let's be harsh, you're being a cheapskate with like and this is what your friends are gonna like start thinking about you sometimes.
Why don't you have fun? You are never hanging out with us. You are never spending money. You are not funny. What are you doing? Just enjoy life, bro.
Exactly that. And yeah, you have to still thinking that you're different than these people, and like you're already beyond them. You already have like more struggle than them, but just keep on thinking about yourself. Keep on thinking that might be hard by this time, but like later you'll have an advance from them because you
Yeah.
already know what it is. And when they'll get into adulthood, maybe within 2 to 3 years, they won't have like the thing that you already have, like stretch management about like just papers, adult things, paying the bank, paying your apartment, keeping the money in the bank account.
Yeah.
And yeah, it might be very stressful at the beginning, but I think it might help a lot in the future.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
you'll be advanced.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, congrats for already doing that at not even 20 and for over 2 years. That's very impressive. But yeah, you're totally right. I mean, the version I give is if you are freaked out about your money. But of course, you need to take a bit of time for yourself to still enjoy life. And at least now that you are tracking everything, you are in control.
Exactly.
if
But
you are-
you
if-
have to get the control first.
Yeah. What you are not tracking, you are not managing that, and this thing is managing you in some way. And once you start to track, you can start to cut off the excessive stuff and also make a small budget part of your plan every month, every week, whatever, for you to enjoy. And you know you can tap into those reserves without
Exactly.
eating the red flag at the bank, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but this is basically the next step. Once you realize that and you cut off the excess, if you have still a bit remaining without hitting the negative at the end of the month, sure, you can either save it, but it might also be worth it to take a strategic break or relax, like have a beer with the buddies sometimes, have that coffee break with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or with your family, whatever. And yeah, it's also part of well-being in general. So yeah, 100% true. Nice. That's cool. And you are the first one to join the chat. That's cool. Anyways, anything else you want to add, or are we stopping the stream right now and you are going back to your homework?
I think I'm gonna go back to my homeworks. Thanks for
Good.
inviting me.
That's fine. That's fine. Anyways, we're going to end the stream. Thanks all for coming, by the way. I'm gonna leave the chat. Yeah, gonna end the stream. Thank you for that participation in the voice chat. Yeah, see you tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow we'd be taking the free consultation. I might do a presentation before and then open up the stream up to maybe midnight while drawing a bit and doing some free consultation or whatever you want if you want. But anyways, thanks for coming. Hope you found it interesting and educative. Again, for the YouTube replay, if you think it was useful, leave a like, leave a comment. If you have some other tips on other suggestions about the struggles, feel free to add them in the comments. Feel free to join also on Twitch. If you want to interact in real time, feel free to follow me on social media, whatever, you know, the jazz. And the best thing you can do if you found it useful is if you know that those kind of streams might benefit someone you know around you, just share the word and share the link towards the streams or the videos. Anyways, thanks for coming. Take care, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.